Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing an Amazoness deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an amazing deck that focuses around the battle phase and OTKing your opponent with all its awesome fusion monsters. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Amazoness War Chief. This card is one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck, because this card has the ability that if you control no monsters or only Amazoness monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can set an Amazoness spell or trap or a polymerization directly from your deck. Also, you can only attack with Amazonesses for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal because that's usually all we're summoning anyways. But this card is amazing because it instantly gets you to polymerization and it doesn't waste your normal summon because you can just instantly special summon it out to your side of the field off of her effect. We then play 3 copies of Amazoness Princess. Princess is an amazing 3-of in the deck as well because this card is one of our best normal summons because this card's name becomes Amazoness Queen while in the field or in the graveyard, which is a great ability because we have a bunch of fusion monsters that actually need to be used for Amazoness Queen as a material, making this card a definite 3-of in the deck. But this card also has the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add an Amazoness spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is an amazing ability to instantly get to the exact card that we need. We then play 3 copies of Amazoness Spiritualist. Spiritualist is really good as a 3-of in this build because this card has a great effect. If this card's in your hand or your graveyard, you can actually target an Amazoness card that you control, accept a copy of Spiritualist, and return it back to the hand. And if you do, special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extract for the rest of the turn, except Amazoness monsters, which is totally fine because we want to be fusion summoning into our Amazoness fusion monsters anyways. This card also has the ability, if this card is special summon, you can add a polymerization from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability so we can start summoning out our boss monsters. We then play 2 copies of Amazoness Golden Whipmaster. This card is great as a pendulum monster for the deck and just helps out a lot overall with a great pendulum ability that Amazoness monsters that you control gain attack equal to their own level times 100. And when an attack is declared involving your Amazoness monster, you can actually target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it, which is a really cool effect just to help you pop your opponent's back row. We then play 2 copies of Silver Swordmaster. Silver Swordmaster is a really good 2-of in the build and just helps out a lot overall because it is a scale 7, helping us summon out the exact Amazoness monsters that we want when we put our copy of Golden Whipmaster and Silver Swordmaster in our scales. But this card is a pretty cool pendulum effect. The Amazoness monsters that you control gain attack equal to their own level times 100, just like your copy of Golden Whipmaster. But this card has the ability that when an attack is declared involving your Amazoness monster, you can actually target an Amazoness spell or trap in your graveyard and add it back to your hand to recycle some of your resources. We then play 2 copies of Amazoness Spy. Amazoness Spy helps out a lot in the deck as a 2-of because this card is just a really good extender. Lets you reveal another Amazoness monster in your hand and then special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, which is a great ability just to extend your plays. We then play a single copy of Amazoness Queen. Amazoness Queen is just a good 1-of in the build. Since our copy of Princess does count as Queen while in the field or in the graveyard, you really only need a single copy of this card. This card is a great effect that Amazoness monsters that you control cannot be destroyed by battle. We then play a single copy of Amazoness Swordswoman. Swordswoman is actually my favorite Amazoness monster because it's such an old school card. So definitely comment down below what your favorite Amazoness monster actually is. But mine is actually Swordswoman because I used to use this card all the time when it first came out a long time ago. I believe in Magician's Force. But this card is amazing because your opponent takes all battle damage that you would have taken from battles involving this card to help you OTK your opponent to guarantee they're going to take a bunch of damage. We then play a single copy of Baby Tiger. You only really need a single copy of this card in the build. It's very easy to get to, and it's really just a good card that recycles itself over and over again. So I have bumped this card down to 1 in this build. And as you build, this card's name becomes Amazoness Tiger while in the field or in the graveyard. And if an Amazoness monster is normal or special summoned to your field while this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card, but you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. And it also has the ability gains 100 attack for each Amazoness card in your graveyard. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the deck just to stop the opponent from touching the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda searches out the exact card that we need from our deck to our hand, so this card is a definite 1-of in the build. We then play a single copy of Amazoness Village. Village is great as a 1-of in the deck, but you really only need a single copy of this card because it is searchable. It has the ability that all face-up Amazoness monsters on the field gain 200 attack points. And once per turn, when an Amazoness monster is destroyed by a battle or by card effect and is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an Amazoness monster from your deck with a level less than or equal to that monster destroyed, which is a really cool effect to instantly get another Amazoness monster out on your side of the field, basically making it so all of your Amazoness monsters float into other Amazoness monsters. We then play a single copy of Fusion Substitute. Fusion Substitute is great in the deck just as a 1-of because it's always treated as a polymerization, but this card lets you fusion summon a fusion monster from your X deck using monsters that you control as fusion material. And you can also banish this card from the graveyard to target a fusion monster in your graveyard and return it back to the X deck to be able to draw a card, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the build. We then play 2 copies of the original Polymerization. Polymerization is definitely a 2-of in the build. It is searchable, but you really want to be able to get to this card as quickly as possible so we can start summoning out our awesome boss monsters. We then play 2 copies of Secret Arts. Secret Arts is really good in the deck, but you really only need 2 copies of this card because it's so searchable, and it's just basically 2 more fusion spells. This card lets you fusion summon an Amazoness fusion monster from your X deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, but during your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard, and if you fusion summon an Amazoness fusion monster this turn, you can also send an Amazoness monster from your X deck to the graveyard as a material, which is an awesome ability to be able to use, especially since cards like Augusta require your copy of Empress, so you really need to be able to use this card to fusion summon our absolutely powerful boss monsters to our side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Amazoness Call. Amazoness Call is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card helps out a lot in the deck because it's basically the Rhoda for the deck. It lets you take any Amazoness card from your deck except another copy of Call and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, which is an awesome ability to search out the exact card that you need. We're then playing 3 extremely spicy tech cards that we're actually going to lay face down and play Guess That Card. So definitely comment down below what you think this really spicy tech card is, and it's an amazing 3-of in the build. So we're going to reveal this card in 3, 2, 1. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and definitely hit the bell on so you can come our notification squad because we're on the road to 100K subscribers and we're almost there. Every subscriber counts. So let's go ahead and check out what this really awesome tech card is and see if you guys got it right down in the comments. And it's actually going to be 3 copies of Battle Guard Echoes. Battle Guard Echoes is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card has the ability when it's activated, you can add 1 level 5 Earth Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. And we actually, in this deck, have 2 targets in the main deck, one of which being one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck, which is our copy of War Chief. You can instantly search out your copy of War Chief with this card's effect, and you can also search out your copy of Golden Whipmaster if you already have your copy of War Chief, so it's really good in the deck to be able to search out the exact card that you need. The only downside of this card is after you add that card from your deck to your hand, you do have to discard a card, but that's totally fine because we have plenty of cards that we can discard to the graveyard in Amazonesses. But this card is great as well in the deck because if a monster is returned back from the field to the hand, you can actually add a Battle Guard Rage or Battle Guard Howling from your deck to your hand, or change one face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position, basically being a Book of Moon, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly is just really good in the deck overall to be able to break your opponent's board, and it's just a great card overall in this deck to break your opponent's board and summon out an additional monster to our side of the field. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a few, starting off with Battleguard Howling. Battleguard Howling is searchable off of Echoes, which is why I'm playing this card as a 1-of in the deck. That when a warrior-type monster you control is targeted for an attack or by an opponent's monster effect, you can target a face-up monster opponent controls and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of that face-up monster that was targeted with this card. And if you do, return it back to the hand, which is a great ability. Plus, this card is searchable off of Echoes, which is why I'm playing this card as a 1-of. We can play a single copy of Amazoness Onslaught. Onslaught is just a fantastic trap card to be able to play in the deck because it has the ability, once per turn during the battle phase, you can special summon an Amazoness monster from the hand, and if you do, it gains 500 attack until the end of the turn, even this card leaves the field, which is such a cool ability just to give you an additional boost and another monster on the field. We then play a single copy of Hot Spring. Hot Spring helps out just as a 1-of in the build as well, because this card has the ability, when it's activated, you can take an Amazoness monster from your deck and either add it to your hand, or if it's a Pendulum monster, place it in the Pendulum Zone. And also, when you take damage, while you control an Amazoness monster, it has the ability to gain life points equal to the damage you took, which is a really cool ability, especially since we're focused around the battle phase. This card helps out a lot. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with our main boss monster, Amazoness Augusta. We're just playing 2 copies in this build. It's very easy to get out on our side of the field, and this card is absolutely broken. It has the ability, it takes an Amazoness fusion monster plus an Amazoness monster to make this card, and your opponent cannot target other Amazoness monsters you control with card effects. Also, those cards cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects either. And in this card is fusion summon using an Amazoness Empress or an Amazoness Queen as a material. You can make a second attack during each battle phase to help you OTK your opponent. And if this card is fusion summoned, you can actually special summon an Amazoness monster from your deck to your side of the field, which is a great ability to summon out your copy of Queen off this card's effect. We then play 2 copies of Pet Liger King. Liger King is really good as a 2-of in the build as well, and this card is amazing because your opponent's monsters cannot attack any monster except this one, and you can also target an Amazoness card that you control and one Amazoness warrior monster in your graveyard, destroy that card on the field of you, special summon the other monster from the graveyard. Also, this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, but it's a really cool effect to get the exact monster you want on your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Empress. Empress is great in the deck as a 2-of because it helps you step into your copy of Augusta. It's just really good overall in the deck, but you don't need more than 2 copies of this card. We then play a single copy of Pet Liger. Pet Liger is just a good option deck. This card does specifically require a copy of your Amazoness Tiger, which we're just going to use Baby Tiger to step into this card, but it's really good in the deck as 1-of, just to help you summon out an additional fusion monster. We then play a single copy of Dracostapelia. Dracostapelia is a really good super poly target and just an overall fantastic card to be able to summon out to your side of the field. 1 copy of Garua and a single copy of Mud Dragon. These are also really good super poly targets to be able to summon out to your side of the field. You play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code just gets really big and pops multiple cards on the field, which is super helpful. 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn to spin stuff. 1 copy of SP Little Knight. You can change this card out for Nightmare Phoenix if you want to for a more budget option, but this card is a double interruption, so if you have it, definitely play it. We then play a single copy of the Ferocious Flame Swordsman. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck because all warrior monsters gain 500 attack points, which helps you go in for game with your Amazoness monsters. We then finally play a single copy of IP Masquerena, so we can go in for our copy of Nightmare Unicorn or SP Little Knight during the opponent's turn. So, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This deck is super fun. If you guys have never played Amazoness before, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's really fun to be able to play, especially summoning out your awesome fusion monsters, just to help you go in for game and OTK your opponent. So, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.